Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of Santa Clarita Valley's Real Estate Beat. I'm Jason Reno, this is Keith Reno with the Reno team of Wintrust Mortgage, and our esteemed guest today, Brian Enns with the SCV Agents and Realty Execs. Welcome aboard.
Thanks, what's up guys?
Well, you know, another day in paradise, just having fun.
Doing our thing.
There you go. So I know we wanted to touch on today how to prepare to buy a home. Everybody thinks it's, you know, just go find a house and get into escrow and boom, you're done. But there's obviously a lot more to it. You want to touch on that?
Yeah, I call it the pre-buying strategy. There's so many pieces of the puzzle that need to be put together. First and foremost is obviously that's where you guys come in, is getting pre-qualified by a local professional that's obviously accurate. That's the most important thing, is an accurate pre-qualification. Of course. Not just throwing something on the wall and see what sticks, you know. You can touch on that, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what we're analyzing when reviewing a buyer's option are their income, the down payment, and their credit, and those three key components will ultimately determine what options are going to, you know, best fit our customers' needs. And then from there, we're really digging into, you know, how much do they feel comfortable using towards the down payment and paying closing costs, and what do they feel comfortable paying monthly. Once we have those bases covered, and we try to take on the role as an educator up front, to where, you know, what I share with our customers, if I can educate someone as to what all the pros and cons are, to where they feel they can go out in the open market and make an informed, educated choice, then up front I think we've done our job. And then, you know, Brian, what happens from there?
Well, I think you just touched on that, is making an informed, accurate choice. That's where it's at, you know. I mean, people go out and they say, you know, they call me and say, well, I make a couple $100,000 a year, I want to look at homes that are $650. Well, they have no idea what the monthly obligation is on that home or the down payment on that home. And once they start looking at homes that are $650 and realize that the real pricing is around the $550, well, then they're not going to find anything they like, because they've been looking at something totally out of their price.
And then their wife's disappointed.
Exactly. So yeah, you really touched on it, just being accurate and making an informed decision. Yeah. And then after that, obviously, then it comes down to the dinner table talk, the do's, the don'ts, the musts, the must-have, the want list. And it's kind of funny, I've been doing this for many years now, and all of a sudden I'm looking at buying a new house, so I kind of am reanalyzing it, and it's funny what your musts and wants, how that list changes. Yeah. All of a sudden, you know, you start off saying, I want the 3-car garage, the cul-de-sac, the pool, and then all of a sudden you start looking and things change. So it's really important to put together your absolute musts. And of course, being in Santa Clarita, we all know, is what's the number one thing that everybody looks at?
Schools.
Yeah, that's why they move. That's one of the reasons they move up here, is because they want to be in specific schools. So while I always add that disclaimer, I don't know about buying a home in a specific school district to go to a specific school. Those lines change sometimes from time to time. So
that's a good point. Yeah.
I always worry about that, but at the same time, you know, look at the high schools, the junior high schools, and the elementary schools, and you know, make your decision based on that. And then it comes down to, you know, how many bedrooms do you want? How many do you need? How many square feet do you want or need? Yeah. And you know, having that, you know, having your significant other put together that list with you together. I mean, it's got to be. It's got to be pinpoint and accurate.
Are you comfortable with maybe a fixer-up, or are you looking for something turnkey?
That's another thing. You know,
are you ready for a project?
Yeah, exactly. Do you want to buy a home that, you know, that needs a lot of work? Do you want to buy one that's totally done? Do you have the money to fix it up after you've already put your down payment and closing costs together? You know.
So, but before you take a buyer out and you're in the car showing them properties, are you sitting down with your folks and analyzing this and making sure that they've taken the time to review this, you know, together?
Yeah, great point. What typically happens is, you know, the buyers will call on one of our listings or whatever. We'll show them that house, and then then we'll obviously sit down and have a meeting, because the meeting is the most important thing. Yeah. You know, you can if we just listen to the clients and get out and just start driving around and seeing 10 homes a day, all of a sudden you're just beat, and the whole process gets annoying pretty much. It's a waste of time. Yeah, so you got to make sure that you're organized. Make sure that your pre-qualification is accurate, like we already talked about. Put together your lists, you know, and your areas and whatnot. But it's definitely important to have a good foundation, and that's why I call it the pre-buying strategies. You know, put it all together and have a good foundation prior to getting in the car and looking at homes.
Well, the bottom line is you want to have realistic goals, realistic in terms of loan, monthly payment, and then you want to make sure that you're setting them up with realistic goals for what they can afford, what areas they're looking in. Because the bottom line is, you know, our job as real estate professionals is to try to make the home buying process smooth, and as I guess, you know, for lack of a better term, fun. You want it to be something enjoyable for them. And frankly, the real estate agents or the lenders out there that are giving them unrealistic goals, and then they just end up being disappointed, it's just going to leave a bad taste in the mouth for themselves, for everybody, and you know, it's just